Look, I know some of you came in here with weight on your shoulders, pressure, stress. Some of y'all are in positions where people are looking to you, counting on you, and inside you're just trying not to fall apart. You're smiling on the outside, but behind the scenes, it's chaos. Let me tell you something. Leadership is not about titles. It's not about the corner office. It's not about who follows you when everything's good. It's about who you become when it all hits the fan. And if you're in the fire right now, good. That means you've been chosen. You've been entrusted with a storm because there's something inside you stronger than what's coming against you. But listen, don't you dare click away. Don't you dare zone out, because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes, it's not theory. It's not hype. It's the truth that separates those who collapse from those who lead like giants. The ones who don't just survive hard times, but transform through them. You want to know the secret to leading when it's tough? Then lean in. Don't blink. Because I'm about to give you what most people will never tell you. Let me break this down for you. When everything around you is falling apart, when your bank account is empty, when your team is discouraged, when the pressure is so heavy you feel like you can't even breathe, that's not the time to panic. That's not the time to fold. That's the time your vision has to speak louder than the storm. See, anybody can lead when things are going right. Anybody can look confident when the money's flowing, the respect is high, and everybody believes. But what do you do when nobody sees what you see? What do you do when the people you're leading are questioning you, doubting you, whispering behind your back? What do you do when you can't even see clearly yourself? You hold the vision anyway. You speak the vision louder. You lead with the picture in your mind, even when your eyes are filled with tears and all you see in front of you is darkness. Because leadership ain't about what you see right now. It's about what you believe will come if you don't quit. When I was at my lowest, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans, if I had judged my future by what I could see, I would have stayed broken. But I didn't lead myself out of that mess with sight. I led myself out with vision. I saw something nobody else could see. I spoke what didn't exist yet like it was already done. You want to lead when it's tough. You better learn how to see with your spirit and not just your eyes. Let me ask you something. Do you know why people follow real leaders? Not because of status, not because of charisma. They follow because when everything starts shaking, there's one person in the room who still believes. One person who still sees the finish line when everyone else sees failure. One person who refuses to let the storm determine the outcome. That's you. You're that person. That's why you're watching this right now. And that's why life put you in the middle of the mess, not to break you, but to build you into the kind of leader that doesn't need the sunshine to shine. I'm talking to the leaders who are walking through storms right now. The storms in your family, in your business, in your health. And you feel like giving up would be easier. Let me tell you, quitting might feel easier in the moment, but it'll cost you everything in the long run. It'll cost you your destiny. It'll cost you your influence. It'll cost you the people depending on you, even if they don't say it out loud. You're the one with the vision. That means you're the one with the responsibility to protect it, to speak it, and to walk in it, even when it hurts. Don't you dare wait for things to get better before you lead like it's already done. Start talking like it's finished. Start acting like the resources are already on the way. Start moving like the team you need is already forming. That's what leaders do. We walk by faith. We speak life. We push through. Let me give you some real talk right here. Most people think leadership is about control. Nah. Real leadership is about conviction. And conviction doesn't come from comfort. It comes from commitment to a vision you can't let go of. A fire you can't turn off. People are looking for someone who won't flinch, who won't run when the heat turns up. You want to lead when it's tough? You have to become unshakable, not because everything is going right, but because the vision is rooted deep in your soul. You know what you're here to do. You know what's possible, and you refuse to back down no matter how ugly it gets. Do you know how powerful that is? Do you know how rare that is? Everybody's a leader until there's blood in the water, until the lights get cut off, until the deal falls through. But a real leader says, even in this, especially in this, I will keep moving, I will keep believing, I will keep speaking life. I remember moments when I didn't have the answers, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the support, and I still had to lead. You don't get to hit pause just because life got hard. You don't get to sit on the bench because you're tired. You have to keep showing up. And not just showing up with purpose, showing up with passion, showing up with the fire that says, I'm not here because it's easy, I'm here because I was built for this. You think the mountain is there to stop you? No, the mountain is there to prove how bad you want what's on the other side. I don't care what it looks like around you. If you've got a vision, you've got everything you need to start leading right now. And don't worry if nobody sees it yet. Most people can't recognize greatness in the middle of the grind. They only celebrate it when it's finished. But you have to lead before the celebration, lead before the recognition, lead before the applause. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you a leader. So don't let the storm change your voice. Don't let the pain silence your purpose. When it gets dark, you speak louder. When the fear creeps in, you walk stronger. And when the world says it's impossible, you say, watch me. Because the secret to leading, even when it's tough, is letting your vision roar louder than your circumstances. And if nobody else sees it yet, that's okay. Just make sure you don't stop seeing it yourself. Listen to me. Your gift might get you in the room, but your character is the only thing that's going to keep you there. Everybody wants the spotlight. Everybody wants the platform. Everybody wants to lead until it costs something, until it costs comfort, until it costs pride, until it costs ego. But I need you to understand this. When you're in a storm, when you're leading through pressure, when the weight feels like it's about to crush you, that's when your character gets revealed. Pressure don't create cracks. Pressure just exposes what was already weak. So you can pretend when it's easy. You can perform when the cameras are on. But when the pressure hits, when the money dries up, when the team starts falling apart, who are you then? That's the real you. That's who your people will follow or walk away from. Let me say it plain. Talent might impress people, but character earns trust. And when it's hard, when the storm rolls in, people follow trust, not talent. They follow integrity, not hype. They don't care about your title. They care about how you show up when everything's falling apart. I've seen it too many times. Leaders who looked the part, sounded the part, moved like the part, but when the heat came, they folded. They cut corners. They blamed everybody else. They sacrificed their values for quick wins. But you can't lead like that. Not when it's tough. Not when the pressure's real. Because in those moments, your people don't need another slick speech. They need to see you stand tall when your knees are shaking. They need to see that what's inside you is stronger than what's pressing against you. You want to know why people follow leaders like Mandela, like MLK? It wasn't because of money. It wasn't because of charisma. It was because of conviction. It was because of consistency. It was because their values didn't change just because the situation did. That's what real leadership looks like. That's what you have to be. Let me be honest with you. Your greatest weapon in tough seasons is not your intelligence. It's not your strategy. It's your character. It's your discipline. It's your ability to stay rooted when everything around you is shifting, when the emotions are running high, but you still respond with wisdom, when the pressure is mounting, but you don't snap on your team, when the enemy is attacking, but you don't stoop to their level. Character is doing what's right when it's hardest to do. And some of you right now, you're being tested, not because life wants to destroy you, but because life wants to promote you. And every promotion requires a proving. You're being refined. You're being sharpened. And if you'll lean in, if you'll stay honest, stay faithful, stay humble, you won't just survive this storm, you'll come out with a credibility that no one can question. See, there's something powerful about a leader who doesn't shift with the winds. A leader who can be trusted behind closed doors. A leader who shows up the same on Monday as they do on Sunday. That kind of consistency builds trust like nothing else. And let me tell you something else. Real character doesn't just protect you, it protects the people under you. When you lead with integrity, you create a covering. You create safety. You create stability. And that's when people go to war for you. Not because they're afraid of you, but because they believe in you, because they know you won't sell them out to save yourself. I remember moments when I could have taken shortcuts, when nobody would have known, when it would have been easier to compromise. But I had to ask myself, who do I want to be when this is all over? Do I want the win or do I want the legacy? Do I want applause or do I want respect? And I chose respect. Every time, because the win ain't worth it if you had to lie, cheat, or step on somebody else to get it. Leadership built on manipulation will always collapse. But leadership built on character, that lasts. That multiplies. That transforms people, not just projects. Some of you have been asking, why is it so hard right now? Why is this season testing me like this? I'll tell you why, because you're being forged. You're being strengthened. You're being shaped into someone who can carry more. Because what you're asking for, the influence, the growth, the breakthrough, it requires you to become a new version of you. And that version doesn't break under pressure. That version doesn't flip when things get uncomfortable. That version shows up with character every time, no matter the cost. You don't just wake up with that kind of strength. You earn it in the shadows, in the struggle, in the silence, when nobody's watching, when nobody's clapping, when it's just you and the weight of the assignment, and you choose to do the right thing anyway. That's leadership. That's what separates the real from the fake. That's what earns the respect of people who've seen too many talk a big game, but live a small life. So I need you to hear me loud and clear. Don't just pray for things to get easier. Pray for your character to get stronger. Don't just wish for the storm to pass. Thank God for the strength to stand through it. Don't just ask for more followers. Ask to be the kind of leader who deserves them. Because in the end, your name means more than your title. Your reputation means more than your revenue. And who you are means more than what you have. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles and the pressure fades, people might forget your plans, but they will never forget your character. Absolutely. Here's the 1,000-word expansion of key point 3, continuing in the emotionally charged, heart-led, no excuses tone, grounded in conviction, vulnerability, and truth. Like it's being delivered from the stage with full presence and rawness. I know what the world tells you. Be strong, be unshakable, be the one who never cries, never breaks, never wavers. They tell you to keep your game face on, to never show weakness, to always be in control. But I'm going to tell you the truth, they don't want to admit. Real leaders, the ones that last, the ones that change lives, they lead with vulnerability, not just strength. You think your team needs you to have all the answers? Nah, they need to know you're real. They need to know you bleed like them, cry like them, get tired like them, and still show up. Still push. Still choose love. Still carry the weight. You want to connect with people? You want to lead them through the darkest seasons? Then you better stop hiding behind the armor and start showing them your heart. Some of y'all are trying so hard to be perfect leaders, you've forgotten how to be present leaders. You're so focused on looking strong or becoming cold, disconnected, untouchable. And I get it because I've been there. I know what it's like to feel like the whole thing rests on your shoulders. Like if you drop the ball, it's all over. So what do? We bury the pain. We cover the cracks. We act like we're okay when we're falling apart inside. But hear me, pretending you're not in pain doesn't make you a leader. It makes you a liar. And over time, it builds walls between you and the very people you were called to serve. Let me say it this way. People don't follow your perfection. They follow your authenticity. They follow your honesty. They follow your willingness to admit, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm here, I'm trying, I'm growing, and I'm not giving up. That's leadership. That's real. You want to know what changed the game for me? It wasn't the moment I nailed the speech or crushed a meeting or hit some milestone. It was the moment I stood in front of people and said, I know what it feels like to be broken. I know what it feels like to be lost. I know what it's like to cry at night when no one's around. And I know what it takes to get back up anyway. That's when people leaned in. That's when they listened, not because I was perfect, but because I was honest. And you know what? That's what your people are starving for. Honesty, humanity, not more hype, not more hustle, not more fake it till you make it. They want to know you get them. They want to know you've been through something and still chose to lead anyway. But some of y'all are afraid. You're scared that if you let them see you, they'll lose respect for you. You think your value is in your image. Let me tell you something. The strongest leaders I've ever known are the ones who weren't afraid to say, I'm hurting, but I'm here. I'm unsure, but I'm not backing down. I'm human, but I'm committed. That kind of courage, that changes lives. That builds trust. That makes people follow you into battle because they know you're not faking it. See, vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is power under control. Vulnerability says, I'm not going to pretend. I'm going to lead with truth. And truth liberates people. It gives them permission to stop performing and start healing. Some of y'all got teams right now that are silently suffering, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because they've never seen a leader model what it looks like to be both strong and soft. They've never seen a leader admit, I don't feel okay today, but I'm still showing up. You could change their life by being the first. You could set the tone for an entire culture just by being real. Let me ask you something. What's the point of leading if you can't connect? What's the point of building a business, a brand, a platform, if you're too afraid to let people see your scars? The world's got enough polished performers. What we need now is real leaders with real stories. The kind of leader who says, I've been broken, built it back. I've been rejected and kept walking. I've doubted myself and still decided to lead. I don't need to be perfect to have purpose. That's the leader people run through walls for. That's the leader who lasts, not just in the spotlight, but in the legacy. I'm not asking you to dump all your pain on the table. I'm not saying tell everyone every detail. I'm saying lead from a place of truth. Lead from your story. Lead from your struggle. Because that's where your strength was born. Don't you dare let the world convince you that the tough times disqualify you. If anything, they qualify you, because now you don't just have theory, you have testimony. You don't just have tools, you have empathy. You don't just know how to win, you know how to survive. And that's leadership at the highest level. So I need you to stop hiding. I need you to stop holding back. I need you to take the mask off and show your people that it's okay to lead with tears in your eyes. It's okay to lead with fear in your gut. It's okay to lead with wounds that haven't fully healed yet. Because what makes you effective isn't your image. It's your ability to say, me too, but we're still moving forward. People are waiting for someone like that. Someone who doesn't just tell them how to climb, but shows them step by step what it looks like to keep going while we're bleeding. That's the kind of leader this world is starving for. That's the kind of leader you already are. If you're going to lead when it's tough, then you better have a vision that's bigger than the pain, a mission that's louder than the voices telling you to quit. Because when it gets hard, and it will get hard, only one thing is going to keep you standing: a vision that won't let you walk away. See, when you've got a clear vision, it changes how you deal with struggle. It changes how you handle pressure. It changes how you move through betrayal, burnout, and heartbreak. Because you're not just reacting to life anymore, you're responding to a call. You're not just working, you're walking towards something. That vision, it becomes your anchor, your compass, your fire. I'm not talking about some cute idea you write in a journal once a year. I'm talking about something that grabs you by the soul, something that wakes you up in the middle of the night, something that reminds you why you started, especially when you're ready to give up. When people come to me broken, tired, confused, you know the first question I ask, what are you fighting for? What's the vision? Because when there's no vision, pressure becomes a prison. But when there is vision, pressure becomes preparation. I'm trying to help somebody today. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're under pressure because you carry something valuable. And if the enemy can't destroy your calling, he'll try to blind you to it. He'll try to distract you with problems so you forget the purpose. So that if you can hold on to the vision, even when it's blurry, even when it hurts, then you can endure storms that would have taken you out before. You can lead through seasons that would have broken the old version of you. You know why? Because vision creates discipline. Vision creates focus. Vision turns I don't feel like it into I can't afford not to. You start living intentional, speaking intentional, leading intentional, because now you're not just reacting to circumstances, you're reaching for something bigger than you. And let me be clear, vision isn't just about what you see, it's about what you believe is possible. Some of y'all are waiting for the vision to be obvious before you commit, but that's not how it works. You've got to believe it before you see it. You've got to walk toward it when there's no applause, no signs, no proof, just that whisper inside that says, there's more in you. And once you know where you're going, you'll let anything take your eyes off it. Not fear, not failure, not fatigue, not people. Because if you lose sight of the vision, you'll start following your feelings. And feelings will lie to you. Feelings will convince you to quit when you're 3 feet from the breakthrough. Feelings will tell you, this doesn't matter. You're not making a difference. But your vision will remind you, this is exactly where you're supposed to be. You want to know how I've kept going through betrayal, through losses, through sleepless nights and empty bank accounts and lonely hotel rooms? Vision. That's it. Not motivation, not hype, just vision. A conviction in my gut that what I'm building matters too much to stop, that the people assigned to my voice can't afford for me to shrink back, and neither can yours. But listen, I don't care how talented you are. If you don't have a vision, you'll end up drifting. You'll chase every opportunity. You'll say yes to things that look good, but don't align. And before you know it, you're busy, but not building, active, but not advancing, surrounded, but not supported. But when you got vision, you can say no to the wrong things and yes to the right things, even if they're hard. You can take hits and keep walking because you're not walking for comfort. You're walking for calling. Some of you are frustrated right now, not because you're doing the wrong thing, but because you forgot why you're doing it. You lost sight of what it's leading to. And I get it. Life can cloud it. Stress can blur it. But if you want to lead in the fire, you got to return to the vision again and again. Write it down. Speak it out. See it with your spirit when your eyes can't. And let me say this to the ones who feel like their vision's too small. If it doesn't scare you a little, stretch you a lot, and require you to grow, then it's probably not big enough. Because real vision doesn't just change your life, it changes the lives around you. It pulls people higher. It lifts atmospheres. It builds legacy. That's the kind of vision you fight for. That's the kind of vision you bleed for. But here's the thing about leading with vision. You're going to be misunderstood. You're going to be doubted. You're going to be called crazy. But you can't let people with no sight speak over your vision. You can't expect the crowd to understand what was downloaded privately into your spirit. You weren't built to be accepted. You were built to build something. And when you lead with that kind of clarity, people start catching it. They don't just hear your words, they feel your direction, they feel your purpose, and they'll follow not because of your charisma, but because of your conviction. You won't have to beg people to believe in you. You'll be too busy walking in vision to chase validation. You'll be too grounded in purpose to worry about popularity. That's how you lead when it's tough. Not with image, not with hype, but with a vision so real, so heavy, so personal that quitting is no longer an option. So if you hear nothing else I've said today, hear this. Don't lose sight of the vision, because the vision is what will carry you when nothing else can.